Hey y'all, welcome back to Hermanas Unfiltered. It's your girl Isela, and I'm here to help you tackle 2025 with a fresh mindset and a whole lot of corazon.
Hi, y'all, and I'm Casey, your go to English teacher who is obsessed with goal setting as much as she is with her cafecito. Now, Isela, the new year is officially here, and I think it's time for us to talk about those resolutions.
That's right, Casey. Today we're diving into how we are going to set goals that stick and how to actually follow them through. Whether you're team New Year, New Me, or just looking to tweak some habits that you want to change in your life, we've got you covered.
Yeah, so go ahead and grab your planners, your notebooks, or just a comfy spot on the couch, and let's make 2025 our year. Are you ready, Sela?
Always. Let's do this. All right, guys. So before we dive into setting new goals, let's talk about reflection. Casey, how do you reflect on your year?
Ooh, all right. So honestly, for me, it's all about journaling. I usually sit down, I have my coffee or my ice water, and I write all the highs, the mids, the lows, everything. What about you?
So that's a hard one. I haven't done reflecting on a year in a long time. Um, I used to be a journaler,
Mm-hmm.
but then I stopped for a while, and I think we talked about it on our last episode. I went ahead and bought me a journal for this year or a planner, and I've actually been keeping up with this since the first of the year. But it does give you a page before the first, it gives you a blank page, and I use
Mm,
that page as my reflection from last year. So, I talked about or I wrote down everything from me getting a new job, moving from the classroom to counseling, us starting a podcast. So, anyway, that's how I did it this year. I
mm-hmm.
haven't done it prior to that, but I guess if I have to think about it, it would be more like a gratitude thing.
Yeah.
So, making a list of things that you're thankful for and what you've learned, and then just using that list to also reflect on important things that happened the previous year. What worked and
Yeah.
what didn't work.
Absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes I have to go back in my phone and like it helps if I look through the photos or I look through like the
Yes.
year, like to see like what I accomplished, what we did, what worked, what didn't work. Cause sometimes we forget about
Mm-hmm.
experiences or things that we went through. So sometimes like I'll go through the photos and then, just jot down things or ideas of what I want to change or what I want to keep implementing that year, that I really liked.
You know what I also found out that helps me a lot too is you
Mhm.
know how Snapchat and Google Photos will like
Mm,
send you like, do you remember what happened 6 years ago on this day? I find it very helpful with my kids. When it sends me pictures of my kids from like 5, 6 years ago and I see how little they were, I'm like, oh man, time has flown by.
yeah.
It's crazy how much these kids have changed in the past 5 years. Um, Speaking of, side note, we went out to eat yesterday,
Huh?
and my oldest son was standing right next to me, and he grew again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he was already taller than me as it is, but yesterday that he stood by me, I actually had to look up at him to look him in the eye. So that's what we're at now.
Yeah, yeah,
Growing boys. Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy because it does like it almost happens overnight. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
think we're so like caught up on what's happening in life that it takes little moments like that to realize like, oh my gosh, our babies are growing up, they're getting bigger, they're
Yeah.
changing, they're becoming adults or slowly
Yes.
entering adulthood.
Yeah, and I feel like it also helps you reflect, like you said, the pictures and stuff like that.
Mm.
And believe it or not, I've gotten away from like always taking pictures of everything. Have you done that yet?
Oh my gosh, I have. But you know what? Like that's one of my goals for going into 2025
Mm-hmm.
is to take more photos on my babies because sometimes like I will go to Facebook and I'll look back and I'll see like, oh, we went fishing or we did this or oh, we celebrated our, the little one's birthday or the oldest birthday. And I've shied away, and I think because like I want a sense of privacy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like
Yeah.
social media sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like you can still take pictures and you don't have to
Mhm.
post them to social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to be really bad about taking pictures and posting all the time, and I think I've gone away from it a lot more these past few years. But I definitely agree with you. I think I need to go back to keeping those memories, even if it's just one or two pictures for every outing or every event that we're doing. That way, at least I know that I have them there for when I need them
Yeah.
available. And then when I do want to reflect on things later on the following year, they'll be there for me to remember all the fun things that we did throughout the year.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's important because we do forget things. I forget
Mhm.
things. I sometimes I forget what I ate the day before or what I did the day before. So having those pictures definitely help kind of put everything into perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, and listeners, I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, what did I accomplish in 2024? What challenges did I face? And what am I proud of? I think it's your personal highlight reel whenever you start journaling and you start asking yourself these questions. I think it's important to really go in depth and analyze your life so that you can make those changes for 2025.
I agree. And I also think that reflection is not about beating yourself up. It's more about understanding where you've been so you can move forward with actual intention. So again, don't beat yourself up for not doing what you said you were going to do throughout the year. Turn it around and find a way to move forward for the following year.
Exactly. Exactly. Plus, I think it's super motivating to see like how far you've come, even if it's just baby steps, because we're all different. Things happen, life gets in the way.
Mhm.
And I think it's important, like you said, don't beat yourself up over not accomplishing the things that you set out. Like, this is a new opportunity, it's a new year. And here's an idea, make a year in review board. So write down or draw down your biggest moments of the year. And I think it's important to focus on the good, on what you did accomplish, on what um, all the positive that came out of 2024 instead of all the negative. So
Mhm.
definitely building a year in review board. I like that idea.
Yeah, I love that idea too. And then also to our followers, you can try writing a letter to your 2024 self. Okay?
Ooh.
Here's where my counseling background comes in, Casey. So, I know I've done it before through counseling. You write yourself a letter. And for example, you can say, what advice would you give yourself if you could go back? So think about something that you
Mm,
did in 2024 and
mhm.
whether it was good, whether it was bad. Write yourself a letter and give yourself advice on something that maybe didn't work out for you last year. And then once you do that, you read it once and then you get rid of it. And that's how you
Yeah.
are pushing away whatever negative came the previous year.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I think that's a great exercise. I think it's like closure and
Mhm.
motivation all in once. I don't know. I for me like okay. Me and my husband have been talking about this, but I have a hard time letting go. Like I think I would want to keep the letter and then open it up at the beginning of the following year and just like see how much further I've progressed and how far I've come. I don't know. What do you think?
So I think the whole point of you writing letters to yourself or like
Mhm.
writing a letter expressing whatever, it's like you said for closure. So you write it
Yeah.
down and then that's how you're letting go of whatever you're holding on to.
Yeah.
And that's I
Letting
guess
go of
like
the negative.
mhm, like
Yeah.
making sort of like a promise to yourself that you're going to forget and move
Yeah.
forward
Oh,
and
yeah. I like that.
leaving it in the past, if that makes any sense.
Mm,
So because I feel like you're holding on still to the
mm,
memory instead of letting it go and forgiving yourself or
that's true.
whoever for whatever happened. Or I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. um
Yeah.
but it's a way for you to find closure if you have a hard time letting things
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I like that. I think I'm going to try it.
Ooh,
Alrighty, Sela. So let's talk about setting goals. Have you heard of the SMART method?
yes, I know we use it at school a lot. If you're an educator, you probably heard of it. So the
Mm-hmm.
SMART method is setting goals that are specific, they're measurable, they are
Mm-hmm.
achievable, relevant, and time bound. So it's like setting the gold standard for goal getting or goal setting, sorry.
Yes, exactly. So, as teachers, we are expected to write measurable, achievable goals for ourselves, for our students. So, this is a method that we're very familiar with. So, for those of you who aren't educators and aren't in the education world, let me go ahead and break it down for you. So, for example, instead of saying, I want to get healthier, which is a wonderful, great goal, we got to change it into a SMART goal. So the goal would be I will walk for 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week for the next 3 months. So not only did you say, okay, I'm going to start walking or I'm going to incorporate walking to create healthy habits, you are then creating a specific measurable goal by telling yourself how long it's going to take for you to achieve this goal.
Right. I love that idea. I feel like it gives you a clear plan and a timeline, which makes it easier to stay on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so let's not forget about the importance of making your goals personal. So I think a lot of the times, we want to like create something that's going to keep us accountable for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves and the things that we want to accomplish.
Mm.
So you want to ask yourself, why is this important to me? And I think the why is what needs to keep you motivated.
Yes, I completely agree. And also, I feel like it's important as well to don't set too many goals at once.
Yeah.
Because when you do this, you're going to overwhelm yourself and then you're going to end up giving up on whatever it is that you want to achieve for the year. So, I would say focus on one or two priorities
Mhm.
because at the end of the day that's going to be better, and then once you achieve that or get yourself in a routine, whether it's going to the gym 3 times a week, once you get yourself into a routine where you're doing it and sticking with it, then
Yeah.
you can move on to something different. So, better to do smaller increments, that way you don't overwhelm yourself.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree because you don't want to like add too much and then it becomes overwhelming and then you start
Mhm.
kind of losing sense of why you even started your goals in the first
Right.
place.
Yeah, you forget.
Yeah. So, for our listeners, I want to give you guys some ideas on maybe some goals that you guys could set. Um, I'm going to give you 4 different types of goals. The first one's going to be geared towards personal growth. So sometimes we want to grow who we are as people, learn a little bit more. And one goal could be maybe reading a book a month, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. Studies do show that nonfiction books do help with personal growth.
Mhm.
Um, Another one is let's do one geared towards health. Maybe instead of removing something like removing like sugar, maybe you want to add something because sometimes it's easier to add.
Then
So,
to take away. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's it. Just gets you going in the right direction. So maybe drinking 8 glasses of water a day, that would be a good health goal. A financial goal could be maybe you want to save money, right? Because
Mhm.
don't we all want to save money, right, sis?
Yes, I know I do.
Yeah. So maybe you want to cut out unnecessary spending. So then you could then turn that into a smart goal, of course. And then sometimes, our career, we need to focus or shift our mindset on um, going where we want to go with our career. So, like for me, I think maybe taking an online course that's going to boost a teaching skill is something that I could definitely do
Mhm.
to create some new skills and make me more hireable, I guess.
Mhm.
But those are definitely some things to kind of think about and maybe some goal ideas that our listeners can take away from this episode.
Yeah, those are great examples, Casey. And also, listeners, don't forget relationship goals. I feel like this is a very
Hmm.
important one because
Yeah.
we forget. So I know in my case, with my husband being a coach, he's gone a whole lot all the time. So sometimes we forget about each other, and it's not on purpose, but we get so busy that we don't get enough hours in a day to spend time together. So I feel like a great relationship goal, example, schedule a date night once a month. Get,
Yeah.
get you a babysitter, go out, have dinner. If dinner is not your thing, find you found fun activities around town that y'all can do together, like painting, pottery painting. I don't know. There's a ton of things that you can do together as a couple.
Mini golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go play freaking what do you call it? The machines.
Oh, yeah, like the arcade, like go to the
Yeah, arcade
arcade.
games. Have fun
Yes.
together. And if you can't get a sitter, then also maybe stay home and
Mhm.
do your own thing for a little bit if you're able to. I know I've always been really big on projects,
Yeah.
finding things to do together, whether it's building furniture or painting a wall or cleaning the yard or whatever it is that you have going on. If you do it together, I feel like that's a good way to spend quality time with your spouse as well. And then on the same aspect of relationship goals, don't forget about your friends.
Yeah.
Make it a point to call a friend every, I don't know, 2 weeks to catch up. Or if
Mhm.
you don't, or at least like maybe text them once a week just to tell them, hey, I'm here if you need me or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, because I know that sometimes we go weeks without talking to our friends. And, some friends are low maintenance. They don't require as much attention. I know I have my best friend is very low maintenance. Um, but I still want to make it a point to see her more often this year. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I love those. I think you're spot on. I think it's about balance. I know we've talked about how important it is to balance everything out. And
Mm-hmm.
life isn't just about work, it's not just about fitness. It's also about nurturing all aspects of our lives. And our husbands are a big part of our lives, and I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think that they deserve priority. Our marriage deserves priority, and we need to nurture those relationships so that we can have a good strong relationship with our spouses and our friends need us too. They
Yeah.
need just as much love, and sometimes they need us to check in on them. And you never know what someone could be going through, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. So let's talk about overcoming obstacles and staying motivated. Okay, so let's be real, Casey. Life happens,
Yeah.
and it is so easy to fall off track.
Yeah.
So, what do you do, Casey, when that happens?
I mean, let's be honest, it happens all the time over here. But you know what? I mean, I think we've talked about this, and a really big one is just giving grace, giving myself grace, and then resetting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because we don't have to be perfect, and it is going to happen. So, falling off track doesn't mean that you failed, it just means that you're human, right? And I think that's what it's about.
Yeah.
What about you?
Same. And I feel like also trying to identify the obstacle or what's keeping you from obtaining your goal is a big
Mm,
part of it as well.
yeah.
So, what is it? Is it time? You don't have enough time to achieve what you want to? Is it lack of motivation? I know lack of motivation is a big one for me. I am full of excuses every single day. Um, I just don't want to do it. So,
Yeah.
lack of motivation is a big one for me. And then once you know the issue, then
Yeah.
you can adjust your approach to getting where you want to be.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, like, I don't think people realize that small increments is so much better than nothing. I know when I first started working out, like, instead of saying, okay, I'm going to work out for a full hour, I would tell
Mhm.
myself, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I'm going to do, whether it was jogging, running, or whatever workout I had planned, I made sure that I did something that I know I was going to be able to get through, and that it wasn't going to be like super overwhelming. so that I wouldn't be like bummed out or upset with myself for it.
Yeah, and that goes back to the SMART goals.
Yeah.
Because if you are not somebody that works out all the time and you want to start with an hour a day, that's not realistic. You know what I mean? And I know for me, the minute that I get to the gym and I start thinking, oh, I got to be here for an hour,
Yeah.
I lose myself.
Yeah.
So versus now, I mean, not that I've been doing it for very long, but
Yeah.
the few times that I've done it this week since the year began, um, once I got myself out of the house, and I just did it this morning. My husband left to the gym, and he's like, "Come on, let's go." And I was like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'll stay. I'll go later." And I always do that. I say I'll go later, and then I end up not going.
Yeah.
So I don't know, something in me just clicked, and I was like, "No, Isela, don't lay here. Get your ass up, get dressed, go to the gym." So I did. I texted him, and I was like, "Hey, I'll meet you there." Um, and I'll get my workout done. So that's what I did. I got dressed, got in my car, went to the gym. He was almost done by the time I got there, so we really didn't get to see each other for much, but at least I got it done. And I was only there for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all you need. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's it's not about the time, it's about creating those healthy habits and
Mhm.
about consistency. And once your body gets used to that constant motion or that constant workout, then it becomes a habit. And then you can kind of prolong your habit a little bit more. Or that's when you kind of start shifting gears and saying, "Oh, I've been doing this workout, let me incorporate another workout and add to it."
Mhm. Yeah, and what is it that they say? It takes 4 weeks to build a habit? Is that
Mhm.
what they
I
say?
think it's like 21 days or something like that.
21
Yeah,
days? Okay,
I
so a
think
little bit
so.
less than 4 weeks. So, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's not even that long. But
No.
like I said, motivation and excuses is my top right now, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
get rid of it. Get rid of it
Yeah.
this year.
It's hard. It's hard to have that mindset. It's hard to kind of
Mhm.
shift gears. And I think that's why I think it's so important to keep yourself motivated and to surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you and
Mhm.
that are going to be on your side.
Yes.
I think that's super important because not only do you have to keep yourself motivated, but you want to keep people with the same mindset around you as well.
Yeah, that kinda reminds me of what was it in Spanish? Dime quién no.
Ah, yes. Yes, I know exactly.
Dime con quién te juntas y te diré quién eres.
Mhm. Yes.
As I've gotten older, I've realized that it's true. You become the people that you surround yourself with.
A hundred
So,
percent.
I feel like that's a big one too.
Yeah, you gotta find like-minded people.
Mhm.
Um, I know that I don't know if it was a podcast or if it was a book that I was reading, but that was definitely one of the things that creates success is you surround yourself with people who you look up to or who you want to emulate or maybe have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish because they're going to push you and
Mhm.
they're going to guide you and they're going to motivate you to get those things done.
Yeah, and I think that also works with parents. If you have friends that are parents that have the same parenting mentality that you do, I think I've found that very helpful in the past, I don't know, 5, 6 years.
Mm,
I have a couple of friends that I met through my kids, and of course through soccer and all that, and they all pretty much have the same parenting style that we do. So I feel like it helps. It makes me comfortable my kids being around
hmm.
them
Yeah,
because
because the
we all parent the
expectations
same
are
way.
the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, um,
I love
and I think
that.
the kids know too. The kids know what expectations they have when they go to somebody's house. So
Mhm.
that also applies to parenting.
That's true. That's true.
Hmm.
I never thought about it that way, but I love
Yeah.
it. How you can kind of incorporate this into all sorts of aspects of your life.
Yeah,
Like
for
it
sure.
doesn't just have to be workout or you know what I mean? It's relationships. It's
Hmm.
the way you're raising your children. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want our listeners to take away is sometimes we need to break our goals into smaller steps. And because I think that's so helpful. We come in like really hard and go getter, but sometimes we need to kind of scale things back a little bit, and be a little bit more realistic, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
And if your goal is to save, like, let's say your goal is to save $1,000, maybe start with 50, right? $50 a week. Or maybe you want to find an accountability partner, and that goes back to surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Share your goals with someone, who's gonna check in on you. I think that's important. I think that's super important. That can be so motivational on so many levels. Another thing is always celebrate your progress, no matter
Yes.
how small.
Mhm.
And you know what? I have such a hard time with this one. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know why it's so hard to like give myself a pat in the back when I do really good things. Like, I get shy almost.
Mm.
I don't know
It's
what it
like that
is.
imposter syndrome again.
I think so.
Imposter syndrome, right? Am I
I
saying that right?
Yeah,
I don't
imposter
know. My
syndrome.
Mexican roots are coming out right now.
Girl, I hear you. Mine comes out too. Like, especially with my SHs and my CHs. I'm like,
I know. Anyway, yeah, back to celebrating your progress.
yeah. I'm gonna work on that one. That's gonna be like one of my things. Is I am gonna celebrate all the little itty bitty things because I have a hard time with that one. I think I'm gonna add it to my goal setting.
Yeah, that's a good one. And remember, motivation isn't constant. You're not going to feel like doing things all the time.
Yeah.
So, discipline will carry you when motivation fades. So, we go back to the creating habits thing again. Once you've created that habit, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
need motivation anymore because you're going to have that routine going for you. So,
Yeah.
let me give you an example. So, you can create a motivation jar
Mm.
and then write down your goals and put it in the jar, right?
Ooh.
And then when you're feeling discouraged, go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and pull it out of the jar and look at it. And then
Mm.
that can serve you as a reminder to this is what I'm doing, this is what I want, and this is how I'm going to achieve it.
I love that. I love the whole motivation jar because sometimes it goes back to, I think, why vision boards are so
Mhm.
successful sometimes, because they do give you that visual, you know what I mean? They like give you that constant reminder, or like, hey, these
Right.
are your goals. And I feel like this serves the same purpose. It's like, hey, this is your jar of goals. Don't you forget that this is what you're trying to achieve. This is what you're trying to accomplish. I
Mhm.
love that. It's really, really
Yeah.
cool. That's genius. I love it.
I agree. Visuals are super powerful. And then another thing that we also tend to forget, reward yourself, right?
Mm,
Every time you hit
yeah.
a milestone, treat yourself to something that makes you happy.
I love that. I always did that. Like, I remember, like, whenever I had like any goals, whether it was like maybe reading so many books, or like, um I don't know, running so many miles or whatever, I would like, set little rewards, whether it was um just something silly, like buy yourself some cute pins, or a new lipstick, or you know what I mean, something tiny, something small. It doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to break the bank, but yeah, I think it's definitely important that you reward yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's talk about trending goal setting tools. Have
Ooh.
you have you I know I see them all over social media all the
Mhm.
time. Have you
Mhm.
tried any goal setting tools or apps?
No, I haven't really used any goal setting apps. I have seen some. Like, I've heard of Trello, like it's supposed to like help you organize your goals and your progress, but I've never used it. What about you?
Yeah, I've actually used it in the past. I'm trying to remember. So, I think at the time I was not ready for it because it's
Mhm.
literally like a vision board and you put pictures
Okay.
on it, you write stuff down, but we go back to the whole vision board is not really my thing. Like
Yeah.
I think of Pinterest when I think of a vision board.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really get into it. I tried it, but it just wasn't for me. I think I'm more old school. I've said this over and over again. I like a good planner. I write everything down, different colors. I have I don't know, about 300 pens. I have a problem. But there's definitely a ton of habit tracking apps out there that are helpful. I see it all the time pop up, like the ones for like if you have ADHD, it tells you like
Mm,
what to clean on what days. So there's definitely a ton of apps out there that can help you stay on track. But for me, it's just pen and paper all the time.
yeah.
That's what works for me.
Yeah, I feel like our online apps are going to be more beneficial to people who maybe need those gentle reminders. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like maybe that'll like come off your phone, especially if you're not always on your planner, or maybe you have a tendency to forget to check your planner. Um, I definitely think that maybe online apps would help, especially for our more high tech people that are just, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I
Yeah, I've
just,
tried it. Like the reminders,
mm-hmm,
I just
just wasn't
swipe
it.
them. Yeah, I just
Mm,
swipe them and get rid of the notifications. It's just
yeah.
I don't know. I love my phone. I'm always on it, but I just that doesn't work for me. It's got to
Yeah.
be pen and paper for me.
I think maybe it's maybe our generation because I feel like I prefer, pen and paper as opposed to like typing or like, don't get me wrong, like I do love like creating things on Canva or, creating videos on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. But nothing beats pen and paper. Nothing
Mm-mm.
beats journaling. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
I feel you.
it's just that, just the whole fact that you have to write it down. Like, I don't know, it just does something to me.
I feel like it's more personal. I don't know
hmm
why, but I prefer journaling and planners and my
hmm
pens, different color pens.
Yeah, and I think you get to like you let your creative juices kind of flow because you can
Mhm.
kind of, color things a certain way. Um, yeah, just make it pretty and whatnot. So, for those of you who are journaling or prefer to journal, I do want to give you guys some prompts that maybe you can use for your journaling venture. So, some things would be like, what do I want to feel this year? So, maybe you can create a page and ask yourself this question and journal. Another thing is, what is one thing that I can do today to move closer to my goal?
Well, that's a good
Um,
one.
right? Because sometimes we forget that it's about the journey. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, Casey, vision boards, we go back to vision boards. They're still trending apparently.
Mhm.
Um maybe they're not like ours when you would cut like pictures out of magazines and
Yeah.
newspapers and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
if that's still your thing and you can still find magazines out there, cut out pictures or print out pictures. You know what I've been doing for my journaling this year?
What?
I have this little printer. Um
My gosh, you didn't. I've been
I've
wanting one
had
of
it.
those.
I've
Have
had
you?
it forever. Yeah, I've had it forever. I wasn't using it as much as I am now. So anyway,
Mhm.
I'll either take a picture a day and use that to refer to my day, or
Ooh.
I will go on Canva and create like a small image and then I will
Mhm.
print it out and put it on a journal, and then that's like my main reference for the day. So like the other
Oh,
day,
I
Friday,
love
I went
that.
out with my friend and we went to lunch and then we had mimosas. So I
Mhm.
went on Canva and created like a little picture of mimosas and put it on there, and then that's what I've been doing. So if that's your thing, go get yourself a
Yeah.
little printer from Amazon that prints from your phone.
Mhm.
And print pictures, cut them out. Quotes, if you're
Mm.
scrolling through social media and you see a quote that catches your eye, write it down.
Yeah.
Um, words that inspire you.
Mhm. People that inspire you.
People that inspire you, and then create a collage and then put it on your wall so
Mhm.
you can see it every day. Put it at work so you can stay
Yeah.
motivated. I feel like I'm a visual person,
Mhm.
so visual things keep me motivated.
Yeah, totally. I love that. You know what I mean? There's so many things that you can do. I remember there for a while. Do you remember the trash journaling that kind of went crazy?
Dude, it's still a thing. I see it all over
Is it?
TikTok all the time. Yeah. My
Yeah.
FYP page is, or what
Full
is
of
it?
it.
FYU? FY
FYP for you
FYP?
page? Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? It's full of it.
Yeah, and I think that's something like you can definitely incorporate to your journaling, even if you are, you know what I mean? it's a goal journal, or it's a journal that's helping you keep those goals, but like, the little tidbits of things that you find, you can add it, make it pretty. Like you said, you add all your quotes and anything and everything that inspires you.
Mhm.
And let's not forget about those like affirmations too. Like i
Yeah.
think i think that's super important. You want to write down those positive statements, like I'm capable of achieving my goals, or I am strong, I am worthy of love. Just little things that are going to get you to that outcome. I know I like to post affirmations on my mirror. Like I'll write them down
Mhm.
on little sticky notes, and then I'll just like post them along my mirror. And then once I feel like they don't serve me anymore, or once I feel like that affirmation has been kind of ingrained in me, then I switch
Mhm.
it out and I put a new one. I really love that. And then I also have a friend of mine for my birthday gave me some cards, and they're prayer cards. And it's a little packet of, I feel like it's like 50 cards, and on these cards you have quotes, and they're biblical quotes. And what I do is I switch them out every 2 weeks, and I have them on my mirror, and I read them every morning for a week. And I think that's a great way to learn scripture. You know what I mean? If it's something that
Mhm.
maybe you want to do, you want to get closer to God. It's something that I really love, and I have my littles help me. They switch out the cards for me.
Oh, that's cute.
I know. So they really love doing that. So they get to like put the card back in, and then they grab from the front, and then they put another one, and then I'll read it to them. I don't think they really understand the quotes,
Mm,
but I think it's definitely creating a good memory for them of like, hey, mom did this, and that was her way to get closer to God and maybe become a better person, you know?
yeah, that's a great idea. They also have an app for that that will send you like daily quotes every day.
Mm hmm. Mm hmm.
So again, if you're into the whole technology thing, you rather have reminders on your phone, they also have apps for daily Bible verses. I love that. And then also, what else can be helpful? Oh, make yourself a goal playlist with
Ooh.
songs that pump you up. So if you're a runner like you, I'm pretty sure
Mm
you
hmm.
have a ton of playlists that you just
Yes.
jam out to when you're running. I know I created one this morning when I went to the gym for running. You know, whatever gets you flowing, whatever's going to remind you to stay on task
Mm
and
hmm.
remind you of your intentions.
Mm hmm.
Music. You know, a lot of people identify with music.
Yeah, I definitely think music's important. And you can create playlists for like different aspects of your goals. So, like, you can have a
Mhm.
playlist for working out. You can have maybe another thing is you want to tidy up a little bit more. So, you can
The
create
cleaning
your,
list. I
your
have one of those.
right?
Yeah.
I think, and I think like, incorporating music into your daily life, like it's so uplifting. It just
Mhm.
changes your mood, and it just makes you feel better. And I think anything and everything that is going to create positivity around you is going to surround your brain and shift your mindset. Do it. Why not?
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, Stella. So I feel so pumped for 2025 after this chat. Like, there's so many things that we talked about and we discussed
Mhm.
that I want to like go and incorporate. So I think
Don't forget, don't take it all in because you'll get overwhelmed.
no, you know what I mean? There's like, and we talked about a lot of great things, and definitely going to take little pieces here and there, modify them, or whatever, to serve my needs and my purpose. But I think setting and keeping goals, it doesn't have to be, overwhelming. I think it's all about mindset, and it's all about strategy.
Absolutely. And then also remember, listeners, your goals are valid,
Mm,
whether they're big or small. If you want to achieve it, you are entitled to whatever it is that you want to achieve this year. So the key is to keep moving forward.
yeah. Yeah. And it's all about your happiness. Like, what's going to make you happy? What's going to propel you into becoming the better version of who you are? And we also want to hear your goals. So if you could please share your goals with us on social media, we would be greatly appreciated. We would love to hear if anything we discussed today is something that you would like to incorporate into your goal setting. We are on Instagram at hermanas underscore unfiltered. And on TikTok, we are at hermanas underscore unfiltered underscore pod. And on YouTube, if you want to see us, I know, follow us at Hermanas Unfiltered Podcast.
Yes, please don't forget to click that subscribe and that little bell so you'll get notifications every time we post a video to YouTube if that's your thing, you want to see who we are. But yeah, like Casey said, we would love to hear your goals. So if you want to share them with us, send them through Instagram or TikTok.
Oh, and real quick before we go, do we want to do any NLG?
Yeah, let's do one.
Okay, let's see.
Those are fun.
All right, so we had a confessional,
Ooh,
and
confessional.
and I know I love these. These are so much fun. So please send them our way. It says, "I sold feet pics." What do you
I
think?
wish they would have given more information. How did it go? Was it successful? Did you make a lot of money? Is it a
Right?
thing? Like,
I
I've heard
agree.
so many stories of those. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know. Some people say you can get really, really good money from selling your feet
Mhm.
pictures,
Yeah.
but
I can't imagine though that
I'm
it's that
curious.
lucrative. Like I would think
Mm,
like maybe you'll make a few $100, but the thought of people raking in thousands upon thousands of dollars on feet pics, like I just can't wrap my head around that.
I can't either, but like I said, I've heard stories. Of course, the internet is full of crap, so who
Yeah.
knows if they're real or not, but
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I
Yeah.
need more
Me
info.
too.
Whoever
Me
sent this
too.
in, I need more info. Go
Yeah.
back and tell me the whole experience,
Right?
please.
I know. I'm
Yes.
gonna okay, so I guess you can reply on this, which I didn't know that was a thing. So
Mhm.
I did reply and I put tell us more because I mean
Oh, yes.
I'm
Okay.
definitely curious to see what they have to say. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. I think that's just a personal choice. You know what I mean? If that's your thing, if you like to sell feet pics and you're making money off of it, more power to you.
Yep.
But yeah, like give us the deets though. Like tell us, like how's it going? How much money you raking in?
Yeah, like what do you have to do? Like do you have to get pedicures every 2 weeks? Like
Yeah,
are they requesting you to put your feet in mud? I need more. I need more
right.
info.
And
Yeah.
what is like the weirdest thing you ever had to like put your feet on?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I want to know
Mm,
everything for sure.
agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. So get back to us. Let us know what I need more info.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, for sure. All right, Casey. So I feel like this was a very good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I like you said, I'm pumped for 2025. I'm ready
Mm-hmm.
to leave my excuses in 2024 and move forward this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to wish you all the best. Happy planning, happy journaling, and we can't wait to see what you guys created. If you guys use any of our methods, whether it's the journaling, the picture printing, or the jar, send us pictures, or if you post any of this, tag us, please. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, and also one more thing before we go, teachers, educators, if you have not gone back to work and you're going back on Monday, good
Mm,
luck. We
yes.
got this. It's just one semester. We'll be fine.
Yeah. We're almost there. We're almost
I
done.
know.
Halfway
We
through
haven't
the
even
year.
started, but we're almost there.
We're almost done, y'all. Spring break's right around the corner.
I know. I know. It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, most definitely. So, to all our hermanas, thank you, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.